I'm Hal Rubenstein, and welcome to The Happy Grown Up, the new podcast that I hope every new ager will soon regard as their go-to GPS for navigating the second half of our lives. More than 100 million Americans are over 50, and for many of us, passing that milestone has us surprised at how much we still want to achieve, how curious we remain, how eager we are to seek new adventures, new acts, new friendships, maybe even new romances, and we're more determined than ever to stay relevant, attractive, and feel terrific. Look, we live in a culture obsessed with youth, and we're constantly being tempted to achieve this by turning back the clock. But instead of hitting rewind, what if we set out to be the freshest, brightest, most appealing version of ourselves right here, right now? Trying to look young can be exhausting. Setting your sights on looking damn good is going to be so much more satisfying and so much more doable thanks to gifted people like Dr. Barbara Sturm. Dr. Sturm started her medical practice in orthopedics and became obsessed with finding formulations to reverse the damage our bodies suffer due to inflammation. And then she decided to transfer that focus to molecular skincare. And the meteoric success of her product line, along with her pragmatic advice, her incessant enthusiasm, and her effortless stylishness, have caused her devoted disciples to rhapsodically compare her to Willy Wonka. I am delighted to have Dr. Sturm with me today at The Happy Grown Up. So I have to start by asking if you see yourself more as a serious lab-coated researcher or a dermatological Pied Piper.
I think I always called myself rock and roll doctor. I don't know. I was walking around in the clinic where I was working in orthopedics with leather pants and, like a lab coat on top, but it wasn't like that I was just all in white, and it was never that important to me being seen as a doctor and getting all this like respect and everything. I always didn't take myself not so seriously being a doctor, although I was doing quite interesting work as a doctor and as a scientist, not just in the skincare, but also in orthopedics, starting with orthopedics. That was quite a new era. We started in the orthopedic with the body-owned proteins from the patient's blood. So we took the patient's blood, processed it in a certain way, and created anti-inflammatory proteins from your own cells and re-injected those into the joints to bring down inflammation and stop the ongoing aging process.
So it's a variation of PRP, correct?
It's a variation of PRP, although the technique we used, and we came way before PRP, by the way, the technique we use is not just creating growth factors, but it's also creating anti-inflammatory proteins. So PRP is focusing more of the growth factors, which is great for your body, for skin, for joints, for everything. But the anti-inflammatory aspect was created by using the method we came up with. And that's such a great thing to bring down inflammation, because that's the main culprit for everything. And, for aging, for destruction, for autoimmune disease, for any skin concern we might have. It's all going together with inflammation.
I've been using your products now for 2 weeks, and to the exclusion of everything else in the medicine cabinet. And maybe it's wishful thinking or imagining, but I swear I see a difference.
No, you have.
I really do. Is that possible?
100%. I get stopped so many times on the street when people say, "Oh my God, I'm only using your products. My skin changed. You transformed my skin." And this is so great for me to hear, because I see it the same way. I'm using exclusively my products, and I love the skin I'm in. I'm so happy with my skin. And I know we create the best products in the world, and you see a difference. If you don't see a difference, you're using different products.
Again, not without taking too technical, what's the source of the effectiveness then? Why is it such a dramatic difference so quickly?
Because the way I formulate products, when I started, as I said, I didn't come from skincare. I came from anti-inflammatory science, from orthopedic background. I didn't approach skincare coming from dermatology. I came from a totally different angle. And what I found when I started not finding the right product for my skin, I found that none of these products knew how to hydrate my skin, number one. So there was no product. It was very rich, but it would just sit on top. It wouldn't get into my skin. It wouldn't hydrate. It wouldn't make my skin dewy. I was totally not satisfied. So the first trick I cracked the code of hydration. I know exactly how to formulate products so you get this dewy, beautiful, hydrated skin. Number one. Number two, I brought science into skincare because that's my background. That's what I wanted. And I basically biofermented this ingredient purslane, which is not just a telomerase activator, but it's also highly antioxidant. It's highly anti-inflammatory. It's wound healing. It has so many powerful characteristics because it also can grow everywhere. It's like a weed growing on Bondi Beach, yeah, or in deserts. It's such a resilient herb, and those resilient plants are used because they know how to serve well for our skin.
Tell me the name of the chemical that you developed.
It's called purslane. The biofermented purslane.
Yeah.
That's a super powerful herb. But I use like different ones. But that's one I love tremendously because have you heard about telomerase activation?
No.
So yeah,
tell me. Say that slow. Yeah. Say that slowly.
Telomerase activation. So that you have to know if you're older than 50. So telomeres. The podcast.
Thank you for that.
You have to know about this. Telomeres are the little caps, the little ends of the chromosomes that with each cell division gets shorter until the cell mutates or dies. And you have to see it like a shoelace, the little ends of the shoelace. So when this is short, then the cell is not valuable anymore. So when we're young, we have a lot of telomerase, an enzyme which fixes to keep those, little telomeres long. But when we get older, those telomerase goes away. So we have to replace it in order to keep our cells alive and keep our cells potent and dividing and like active. So telomerase activation we can do with like certain ingredients like purslane, like astragalus. This is a Chinese mushroom where you just use a little part of this mushroom. And so because I was so obsessed with all the science in my skincare, I started a supplement line. Everybody should use the super anti-aging supplement, but that is a supplement which has telomerase activator because obviously it's not just good for our skin cells, it's good for every cell in our body. So I'm obsessed with like giving our body and skin what it needs to stay, active, young, powerful, working, functioning.
You just made a point where you basically you connected, skincare with also care of the body as well. And yet, when you go into whether it's Sephora or Ulta, any of the stores like that, it's row after row, line after line of creams, lotions, masks, scrubs, everything. Is there such a thing as too much skincare?
I mean, I've been in this industry for 20 years. I created this vampire facial 20 years ago, where you take the blood and inject it into your skin. So I've been growing into this whole skincare. And when I started my skincare, there were not so many brands around. There wasn't like craziness on the shelves. And obviously that's very, very confusing for the customer to really understand what they need and if a product is really good. So this is just hit and miss for customers how to define what to use. And I think the world doesn't need more skincare brands, but it's just a trend right now. So there will be probably way more. But my background is science. My background is being a doctor. I really care about the products I formulate, the way I formulate. I need to know that my patient is obsessed with my product. Otherwise, I'm so irritated. If you wouldn't say my skin changed, I was like, oh no, I failed. So that's I need that. I need that positive feedback, like everybody, to know this brand is really like keeping up to their promises.
How much time should somebody spend on their skin every day? Especially, well, we're talking especially somebody who is, at this point is what I call a happy grown-up, where those of us who are new aging.
Look, you just said something about inside and out. And, when we talk about our skin, we have to talk about our inside as well, because you cannot have amazing skin if you don't take care of your inside. For example, I mean, like you get dehydrated skin if you don't drink enough water. And this is probably one of the hardest tasks for, especially older people. My dad, I need to put a glass of water in front of him,
No, I'm guilty.
Yeah, of
I'm
course,
guilty.
so if you can make sure you start your morning with, like, if you like lemon water, the first thing you do, you drink like 3-4 glasses water, like half a liter to a liter. You chug it up in, and your gut already like half a liter to a liter in. That's really good, but you have to be very self-disciplined, and there are like lots of things we can do, with our daily lifestyle to already take care of our skin, getting enough sleep, trying to distress. There are so many tricks you can do, respecting your diet. And then when it comes to your skincare routine, a skincare routine can be as little as, our hyaluronic serum and our face cream. You don't need to have every serum from my line. If you are like a minimalist, hyaluronic serum, face cream, you will benefit so much from that little small routine. But if you say, oh, I want my vitamin B, then you take the better B. I want my vitamin C, you take the good C. You want exosomes, then you take the exosomatic, and you layer your serums and you layer your serums. And I have an almost 10-year-old, and she loves to do her skincare routine. My skincare routine often is shorter than that's of my child, because I'm like low maintenance with that. My child is very high maintenance, although we all love our skincare. We love doing our skincare routine. So it's like a ritual you do morning and night. And if you have results, you fall in love with it. And especially also for men, I've seen so many men who started doing the routine and they fall in love with doing this, and they want more products and they're excited about it, and they get compliments and they're just like, oh my God. One very famous one is Al Pacino. I don't even know if I can say that, but I say it because he's so excited about, his skin after using my products.
And obviously, it's something he started late. In fact, I was just going to ask you, is it ever too late to start?
No, that's what I'm saying. Al got
Yeah.
products maybe a year ago, 1.5 years ago. Super excited, That's just one nice thing that you just, even when you're older, you see such a nice difference that you keep doing that.
When you launched 10 years ago, you were not what I would technically call a happy grown-up.
That's just numbers.
Well,
just numbers.
that's what I'm going to ask you. But
different.
as somebody past 50, is there something you do differently now than you did 10 years ago?
No, but I think we learn more and more and more. That's Pepper.
Hi. We hear you spend more time on skin than she does, than Mom does.
Yeah, but Pepper has a good skincare routine. So we start early, right?
Yeah. And at night,
you do a really proper skincare routine at night.
Yes.
Mama, can you close the door? Coming? Can you close the door? I told you I'm recording. You have to take whiskey. Take whiskey. Sorry.
It's quite all right.
Dogs, kids.
Yes, it's called life. It's fine.
No, but seriously, would I do something different to 10 years ago? I always was so interested in what's going on in anti-inflammatory lifestyle, longevity. And of course, we learn more and more and more as life goes on. And now I have a big red light bed in my basement. I have a PMF mat. I have my oxygen machine. You add machines and like you do your cold plunge. I'm actually doing it here in the river, in nature. But there's so many things you can do. You have your breathing techniques. You walk barefoot on the grass, or you lie on the grass and you watch the clouds. Things like this are so healing, and they're overlooked so easily by everybody because everybody's so busy,
How often do you do a cold plunge?
I mean, now in the summer I do it every day. And yeah, when I have time, and if I don't have time to go there, I just take a super cold shower. We have such cold water here.
Why is that such a positive effect? Why does that happen?
No, it's just like it's great for your skin. It's great for your entire body, your entire system to just get these like cold water around you, and you just have to breathe a certain way, and it's just so healthy, just like gets your circulation going.
Okay,
and it's a beautiful way to wake your body up and your system up, and to stay in shape as well. For the skin is beautiful to tone.
Are there products out there that highlight anti-aging but actually do the reverse without naming specific brands.
Yeah,
Are there
of
products
course.
out there that are not helpful?
I would 100% say yes to this question, because there are two ways of looking at anti-aging on the skin. One way is to take your skin off, abrase it, like take healthy skin layers off and have your skin renew. You basically put retinol on, or you do laser treatment, or you do glycolic, like all these like very aggressive treatments, which all cause inflammation, by the way. And you let your skin renew. The problem with those treatments is, if you do it on a regular basis, you bring the future closer. Instead of, keeping what you got in really good shape and keep it intact, etc., you make your skin thinner, you cause a lot of inflammation, you disturb your cells not being valuable enough to protect you from outdoor stressors like pollution, sun, etc. So you get a lot of inflammation on your skin, but also pigmentation, and your skin ends up looking dead and lifeless. Yeah. And you see that a lot, actually. And lots of dermatologists, you go there and they recommend, oh yeah, do laser, do this for anti-aging. My idea is to really keep what you got in the best shape and have your skin taken care of with enough hydration, and taking inflammation out instead of causing inflammation, because inflammation is what gives us all the problems, not just on our skin, but also internally. And if you think about your skin, it's the largest organ we have, and it has dendritic cells underneath. So whatever we put on our skin communicates with your entire system. And if you look at products which say, oh, don't use it when you're pregnant, that could be a good hint to say, okay, if it's not good for pregnant women, why would it be good for non-pregnant women? So I don't think anybody would do a laser treatment to your heart. Anybody would do a retinol treatment or an acid peel to your kidneys or liver. Probably you would say, oh no, please no, let's not do that. But with our skin, we almost feel like, oh, let's just scrub it off, make it red and inflamed and burning, and it's possibly good, but I don't think it's so good. I think we shouldn't hurt our bodies. We should do the opposite.
Well, that's what I find when there are certain there are certain exfoliants that are mild, like your enzyme cleanser. But I've done other exfoliants where basically I feel like I'm scraping the crap out of my skin. I feel like I'm throwing gravel on myself.
Yeah.
And you wind up red face, and the dermatologist, the person doing the facial, says, oh, it's just that's only the way it's going to be for a couple of days. But it never feels right.
No, and why should your face be red for a couple of days and inflamed? And you already know when you go outside in the sun, something bad must be happening, because your skin, you really destroy your skin barrier with doing all these treatments. And why would you destroy the outer layer of your entire body?
Okay, so I have to ask you, 'cause obviously I have a tan. I love laying in this. I love sitting in the sun. I do. I find it restorative. I just, there's something about it that's warm and it's soothing. Is sitting in the sun always 100% negative? Is there any positive effects to do it? And if so, is there a way to do it that's smart?
Look, I don't know who started saying the sun is bad. I don't understand that, because the sun is super important. Every cell, every tissue, every little piece of our body has receptors for vitamin D. Vitamin D is the only hormone which gets created by our own bodies. How important do we think this is? I think it's highly important. How does vitamin D get created? By sun exposure and cholesterol. So I think it's very important that we, get into the sun, because it's good for our bones, for our immune system, for our respiratory tract, for our mental health, for so many things to do with our system, our body. So yes, don't exclude yourself from the sun. Is it smart to sit in the midday sun somewhere on the mountain, or on the beach or in the desert? I don't think so. The best light to take is the morning light and the evening light. Yeah. And the morning light, seriously, I wouldn't even use sunscreen. I would just go in the
Really?
light and just go for a walk. Yeah, because that's not harsh UVA, UVB light. It's just like healthy, beautiful light, what we need for our health. So if you, for example, use a lot of retinol, glycolic, laser treatments, you need sunscreen 24/7. Not just sunscreen, but you should also have anti-pollution drops, because you probably also don't protect yourself from the HEV light and from the pollution, which is same aggressive like sun. So you need to have full on protection. But if you keep your skin super healthy, you are not running the risk of, burns or whatever if you do the morning and the evening light. You shouldn't burn your skin, obviously. You also need to understand, are you very light with your skin, or do you have dark skin, or do you have a family history of melanoma or any other skin cancer? Everybody needs to be smart about, what the skin condition is, and how much sun you can take. And obviously, if you go out in the midday sun or later in the day, you really need to use sunscreen. Yeah.
Like you have those sun drops.
Yeah, we have the sun drops, SPF 50. We have a body sunscreen, SPF 30. These are great products. Obviously, sunscreen itself, some filters are not necessarily the best skincare ingredients, because they're chemical, and there are new studies out which show that they can even cause skin cancer. So it's not all that great to cover your whole body with sunscreen 24/7.
Obviously, you're talking about, though you're selling skincare, what you're espousing is more about beauty from the inside out as opposed from the outside in.
Yeah, it's inside and out, top to bottom. We have skincare products for every part of your body. We do hair care, we do intimate care, we do shower gels. I do everything myself because I want to have the best ingredients for my system, for my body. So I'm pretty much obsessed with only using my products for whatever I need.
As somebody who has osteoarthritis, and as I told you, I've had numerous internal issues. Inflammation, of course, has been a huge factor in arthritis and the other challenges that I've had. So how does one reduce inflammation in the rest of the body as well, besides water?
But you see, first of all, not causing inflammation is good. So it's not using skincare product which cause inflammation is already a good step, But obviously, you can adjust your lifestyle. You can, have 8 hours of sleep, try to de-stress, have an anti-inflammatory diet, stay out of the midday sun, out of pollution if you can. There's so many things you can already do with your lifestyle. And then for orthopedic, and this is my background, I created a supplement called Skin Recovery. And that is actually amazing for orthopedic purposes. You should get this one, Skin Recovery. It's highly, highly anti-inflammatory. The super anti-aging one and the Skin Recovery, I would recommend for everybody. Highly anti-inflammatory, telomerase activating, antioxidant. It's just fantastic.
And what activities do you enjoy or do you take part in that it enhances your sense of well-being?
In winter, I ski a lot. In summer, I play tennis, I wakeboard, I work out. Now I work out a lot because I had a knee surgery because I tore my ACL. And so I have to do a lot of physio, a lot of workouts. So I work out my entire body, do balancing, exercise. But I already started playing tennis again. So I'm pretty active, or a hike up the mountain.
I know you don't have a makeup line, and you said yourself that you don't wear an awful lot of makeup, correct?
I'm not a good person for makeup. I hate foundation. I hate everything which is glued to my skin. But, I like a nice eye makeup. And for lips, I use my lip balm. I'm very low maintenance with makeup.
But most women do use makeup. And we're both friends with Anastasia Soar. Actually, she's going to be on this podcast in a few weeks. And look at the beauty empire she's created just by proving that by shaping your eyebrows, you can radically improve your appearance.
She's amazing.
Why? Tell me why.
Oh my God, I love her. And
you know what?
I actually wish she would do my eyebrows right now, because if your eyebrows are in shape, it just frames your face differently.
It changes your whole face.
It's so great. It's so great. So if you just follow her routine for your eyebrows, that is already such a game changer. And that's what I love. I like to bring out my features, doing things like that, but leave my skin alone. And no, she's fantastic. She's such a great supporter, women supporting women. This is real with Anastasia, and we're such great friends, and you can call her night and day. Just unbelievable, beautiful inside and out soul.
Yeah, she is. But when women do wear makeup and in with skincare, what are the mistakes that people make that women and men make for that matter
I
that actually hurt
think
themselves rather than help?
if you wear makeup and foundation, you look older. That's my personal. It looks nice when you're young, and you have this beautiful makeup. When I see it on my daughter, it looks really, really nice. But when you're older and you do like a full face makeup, it makes you look older because it fills in your wrinkles and it dries out your skin. I don't like anything about it.
You do a lot of connecting with your patients. What have you learned from them in terms of creating new product, or just in terms of how you look at people aging smartly?
Yeah, I mean, my patients, in the beginning especially, they would come to me and say, Dr. Sturm, I have like so many breakouts. What should I use? So I started doing a clarifying line. Yeah. Then, people with rosacea, asked me for help. And I don't want to recommend anything which is not made by me. So I did the calming serum for rosacea. Then I talked to Angela Bassett, and Angela's like, nobody thinks about us. I want something specifically formulated for my skin. So I did a skincare line for darker skin tones. So my patients definitely always inspired me to come up with new products. And it's always been a combination of my patients and myself talking to scientists to bring out newness. But, I love also to see on my patients who walk into my clinic, like on a regular basis, then they tell me, oh, I've been using this. It's amazing. This changed my skin like this. This really works. Sometimes they say, oh, this is still like this. Maybe, we can change something on that. So you learn from your patients the same like they learn from you.
Fame and fortune was not exactly your end game when you were creating this skincare line. But how does it feel to be a celebrity, to have renown? Is more importantly, has it affected how you work and how you see yourself?
You know what? I don't see myself like this. It's sometimes funny when people like, oh my God, you're Dr. Sturm, and they're like, and I'm like, I'm just me. Just me. No, I don't. I love to hear the stories from patients, and obviously it's a really great validation if people come up to you and they're excited about your work. So you did something really well in your life. One thing that really worked out. And it's just fantastic to have done this and to have come that far. And in the beginning I was like, I will just do this because I need a good cream. I really need a good cream for myself. And when I had my cream, I was like, I'm done. I'm good. And then my patients asked me for more and more and more. And I loved creating all these products. And I came out with so many products every year. But I didn't think like, oh, this will be a huge success. But if you think about it, if it works on me, if it works on my patients, if it works on my friends, why wouldn't it work for the women in Australia or in the US or somewhere on this planet? If it's good for me, I was very surprised that all of a sudden our brand became so big. But then I wasn't, because I knew these are the best products because I put so much love and care and research. And some products, they take us 4 years to formulate. Our body cream, for example, 4 years, but it's the best body cream you've ever have you tried the body cream?
I just started trying that
Oh
one
my God,
too. Yeah, they
best,
sent it to
the
me.
body cream is so good. So
Why?
I'm obsessed with my product, because if you think about a body cream, I always hated body creams because they're sticky, they feel cold.
Yes.
They're like, you cannot put your clothes on, then you mess up your clothes. And I'm like, oh no, horrible. And we created this body cream. It goes right in, gives you this glow on your skin, but it also like hydrates. I don't have to do it every day because it keeps the hydration in for like 2-3 days. So for me, it's like low maintenance. I can put my clothes on right away and my skin is perfect,
Well, the thing that got me so much about your line is that, number one, of course, you don't have to use a lot. But two, when it goes on, it's so simple and it's so clean and clear that my initial response was, really? This is going to do anything? Because it just seems almost too simple. It almost seems too lighthearted. How could it, obviously I told you in 2 weeks, I see a difference, but it doesn't feel that way when it first goes on. It just seems too.
But listen,
too ephemeral.
When I tried to find products for myself, I was standing in front of a shelf and products would say the most outrageous things on the packaging. And I was like, what is this product? Is it a cream? Is it a mask? Is it a cleanser? I couldn't make sense of it. And I said, when I did my products, I was like, this is the face cream. This is the mask. This is the cleanser. Simple packaging. Simple. It should look good in the bathroom. I don't want to have like all these colors and everything. I want it simple. It should like be aesthetic,
Do you think people who are older stress too much about aging?
I don't know. I was more stressed when I was younger and I wanted to be perfect. I don't want to have wrinkles, and I did my Botox on a regular basis and I did all this. Now, since I'm a little older, I'm a little more relaxed about it, I find.
Why?
I can tell you. I mean, like, eventually I'm less relaxed, but right now I'm pretty cool about it. It's like, I think you go through phases. Not cool about, I'm cool about the way I look. I'm very interested in my inner health. I'm very interested about, keeping inflammation out. I'm very interested in keeping my health up.
Are there any particular products that you routinely use that, like I said, that you do not make?
I take magnesium, high dosage magnesium and zinc in the evening. That I do every night. That's just really good for your system. This is just like necessity.
In what way?
It makes you sleep well. It relaxes your body, but it also gives you like the supplementation of magnesium and zinc, which we deplete out of, when we're older. And this you can not overdose. What I also take is high dosage omega-3 fatty acids in like a really interestingly formulated oil. So I take it as a spoon, not in pill form, because they're like too low concentrated. That brings inflammation down.
So what's the concentration on on the liquid omega fatty acid?
I don't know, maybe 1,000 milligrams or something a day. So high dosage.
Because the capsules are actually much lower than that.
And magnesium,
they're like 100
up to 1,000 as well, 800 to 1,000 milligrams.
How should people regard? Do people need to change that much of their routine as they get older, or basically once you find something that works for you should just stay with it?
Obviously, if you find something that works for you, stay with it. But you never stop learning. You never stop, doing your research, meeting interesting doctors. I love talking to interesting doctors who come up with other things. I do exosome, IV drips, exosomatic skincare.
What is exosome?
Oh, exosomes are little tiny parts of the cells. They're very tiny, like the size of a virus, only 1/800th of a cell. And they travel from one cell to the next, and they do communication between the cells. But they also carry mRNA for shortcut to healthy cell replication. They take inflammation out. They're like the paramedics of a cell, so they can heal stuff easily. And yeah, it's like flushing paramedics into your system.
Oh, how do you tap into that? I mean, what process do you use?
Oh, you go to a doctor who gives IV drips with exosomes. Obviously, you need to trust this doctor. You need to know where it comes from, and I love doing that. I created a skincare product called Exosomatic, like the black bottles, and they're also game changers.
What else do you have coming up on the horizon that you want to create that you haven't done yet?
We just brought out our glow cream and the eye patches. The eye patches are amazing. You should try the eye patches. That's also a game changer. They're like, I never really used eye patches, but my older daughter, Charlie, who's 28, is like, Mommy, we need to do eye patches. We need to do eye patches. So she did the eye patches, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it because they address everything. But, the most important thing, when you take them off, you're just glowing and you're super hydrated. I love them. They're great. And yeah, we're launching another product in September. It's like a serum with 2 phases, a buttery essence and the super anti-aging serum. So it makes your day even easier. You have two serums in one. It's great for mature skin, but for any type of skin who wants to do, like prevention, but especially for mature skin, for older skin, it's a great product. So that launches in September.
And do you have separate products for men and for women?
We have one men's cream for the men who don't want to be that glowy and, want to use it after shaving and stuff. But other than this, men and women use the same products. They're all obsessed with the same products. And it's actually nice. I always wanted it to have it unisex. And yeah, it's a unisex line.
Again, because when you go into those stores, very often there are huge just rows of separate things for men. And I never understood what was the great difference.
You know what? I'm not such a believer in like these big companies because it's a lot of marketing and less about efficacy. So I just I just trust myself, and I don't like marketing. I think marketing and skincare has nothing to do. It shouldn't be marketing. It should be all about, it's basically a medication if you think about it. It's the largest organ, and we need to take care of it with, respect and medical guidance and what's good for the skin, instead of, I like this packaging, I take this product, or I like this what it says, so we should forget about the marketing part of skincare product and really focus on ingredient science.
Yeah, because when you go to the store, you always see I always think like I'm being fooled because the men's line is always either packaged in either charcoal gray or chocolate brown or black.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's never light colors. It's never pastel. And I still feel like you're charging me more money for the same stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what? I don't really look right and left. I just focus on what I do and what I believe in. And I'm not really checking out what other people do or other companies.
Is there anything specific about the way Americans live that you think is either specifically right or specifically wrong in terms of taking care of oneself?
I would think, people in America are more extreme about sun exposure, because
Yes.
I think in America, everybody goes to a dermatologist on a regular basis. In Germany, for example, nobody would do that unless they had an issue. They would go to a dermatologist with an issue and not with, this is like, whatever. I go every 3 months to my dermatologist for some treatments. So
yes, they do.
And I think in Germany, for example, people are more scared of things, trying out things, and they're more scared of hurting. And I think in America, a little more open to experiments, which is also cool because, in America, you can get exosomes. In Germany, you can't, So I think it's both a little dangerous, but also very good to experiment. But I think with the sun, we're a little bit too we shouldn't exclude ourselves from the sun. That's what I think. And I think,
especially, the summer's ending, but when you go on, especially morning television, like I just said before, without sounding too repetition, the sun is always treated as the enemy.
Yeah, but we are not born as fools, we're not born under the earth. We need sun, and exactly, the sun is not our enemy. And sometimes I hear people say, my kids only, they use sunscreen. And I have a 10-year-old who loves skincare. And I'm glad that she's not scared of the sun, because you need that for your growth. You need your vitamin D. You know how many people are vitamin D deficient? Highly vitamin D deficient. Everybody, it's that's a pandemic.
Well, see, now I feel vindicated because I love sitting in the sun.
Let's talk about how we feel.
Okay, yes.
Because it's one thing to not have one wrinkle, have porcelain skin, and have all of that. And the other thing is, like, you go out, you swim, you go wakeboarding, you spend the summer on a boat, whatever. You do like all these like fun things, which is lifestyle to me and happiness. And, fills my heart with joy being with my family and having a beautiful summer vacation. And so the question is, do you want to exclude yourself from all of that to maybe protect yourself from having a wrinkle or two? But it's a choice. Everybody makes decisions for themselves, and the most important thing is, how am I happy? It's not about others, how others look at you. How am I happy? How do I look in the mirror at night, do my skincare routine, and how do I feel when I do this? Do I love myself? Do I love my skin? Am I happy? And that's what everybody has to answer themselves, and I want everyone to have a good feeling when they look in the mirror.
Well, you're basically saying that happiness is an essential ingredient in skincare.
Yeah, for sure. Ever since I created my blood cream in 2003 and then my skincare line, every night I do my skincare routine and look in the mirror and I love myself. I look in the mirror and I think, this is so nice. I'm so happy. This is so nice. I swear, I think that every night when I do my skincare routine. And this is something I created for myself and for so many people who want that,
Maybe you should create a short 5-minute video that people can play for themselves every night when they look in the mirror. It might not be a bad idea to add to your night cream.
But it's also about confidence. If you're happy in your skin, you're way more confident. So when I transform someone's skin, I hope they feel more confident in their skin,
Mm-hmm. Do you consider yourself a happy grown-up?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I'm very happy. I mean, I'm going through a divorce, which is not the funniest, but but that's also good, changes in life, getting more challenges, and one door closes, the other opens. It's exciting to see how life, gets created every day new. I love to float from one day to the next. I have 2 amazing children who I love to watch grow up and be part of their lives. And I'm living in nature. I do my sports. I have a beautiful community I'm part of. It's all great. I work, I travel, I have a social life. I have fancy dinners. I have very very simple picnics. I live my life to the fullest I can, I feel.
It sounds like a perfect recipe to me. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, doctor. I really do. Okay, and I'm going to get those eye patches. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I want to see the before and after picture.
Okay, I promise. I should have started the before like 2 weeks ago because I can see the difference already.
I love it.
Thank you for listening to the Happy Grown Up Podcast. And if you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe to our weekly newsletter on Substack, which will enlighten and entertain you with advice and inspiration on all aspects of new aging. From a new way to inspire yourself daily in 10 minutes, to what to pack for a romantic getaway, what not to say to cheer up a sick friend, and how to be invigorated by a new circle of friends, and a host of algorithms, lighthearted but savvy rules to live by. And join us next week for a new edition of The Happy Grown Up. I'm Hal Rubenstein, asking you to smile at the person you see in the mirror. After all, you're still here. That alone should make you happy.